Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you've committed a crime nearly 4,000 years ago. You expect iron bars, a locked cell, a prison guard, 3 meals a day, a sentence measured in years. But when the judge announces your punishment, none of that happens. Because the truth is, the world's first prison wasn't really a prison at all. For most of human history, the idea of locking someone away for years simply didn't exist. In fact, if you had lived in ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, or even early Rome, going to prison would have been one of the least likely punishments you could receive. So, if prisons didn't exist, where did criminals go? The answer reveals something surprising about how ancient civilizations understood justice. Thousands of years ago, prisons were never meant to punish people. They were holding places. Temporary, cold, crowded. You were locked inside only until your real punishment arrived. That punishment could be a fine, public whipping, forced labor, exile from your community, or, for the most serious crimes, execution. Keeping thousands of prisoners alive for years required food, guards, buildings, and money. Ancient kingdoms couldn't afford that, and more importantly, they didn't believe criminals deserved it. Justice wasn't about removing someone from society. It was about delivering punishment quickly, publicly, and permanently. One of the earliest known examples comes from ancient Mesopotamia, nearly 4,000 years ago. The famous Code of Hammurabi, one of the oldest written law codes in history, listed hundreds of crimes and punishments. What's striking isn't what it includes, it's what it doesn't. Long-term imprisonment is almost completely absent. Instead, justice relied on fines, restitution, corporal punishment, and death. The prison existed only as a place to keep the accused until judgment could be carried out. And Mesopotamia wasn't unique. Across much of the ancient world, from Egypt to Greece, temporary detention was common, but prisons as punishment were rare. The idea that someone should spend years behind bars simply hadn't taken root. Because in the ancient mind, justice ended when the punishment was complete, not after decades inside a cell. And yet, over the centuries, something changed. A single idea slowly transformed temporary holding cells into permanent institutions. An idea so powerful, it reshaped justice across the entire world. But where did that idea come from? That transformation didn't happen overnight. It took centuries. As cities grew larger and governments became more organized, rulers faced a new problem. What should they do with criminals who weren't dangerous enough to execute, but couldn't simply be released? The answer slowly changed history. Instead of punishing someone and then letting them go, governments began making confinement itself the punishment. By the Middle Ages, castles, dungeons, and fortified towers across Europe were being used to imprison debtors, political rivals, and suspected criminals. The conditions were harsh. Dark stone walls, little sunlight, poor sanitation. These were not places of rehabilitation. They were built to isolate, intimidate, and control. Then, during the 18th and 19th centuries, another revolutionary idea emerged. Perhaps prisons shouldn't exist only to punish. Perhaps they could also reform. Countries began building institutions where discipline, education, work, and routine were intended to prepare prisoners for life after release. It was a bold vision. Some prisons succeeded. Many did not. Even today, societies continue debating the same question. Should prisons punish? Or should they change people? The most surprising truth is this. For most of human history, if you committed a crime, you didn't expect years behind bars. You expected a punishment that was swift, public, and final. The prison sentence we think of today is actually a relatively recent idea in the history of civilization. So the next time you see prison walls, steel bars, or a locked cell, remember this. They are not ancient traditions. They are the result of centuries of changing ideas about crime, justice, and human society. Sometimes, history's greatest surprise isn't what has changed. It's realizing that the things we consider timeless are often far newer than we imagine.